Get ready to be inspired by the great things happening in rural education. The Rural Scoop will bring you new ideas and innovative solutions. We'll dive into education issues and we'll highlight what's working in your rural communities. You'll hear from a variety of educators, administrators, professionals, and others who will provide relevant and engaging content in each episode. And now, for a special episode recorded at the Arizona Rural Schools Association Conference, here's your host, Ty White.
Okay, so the first question I'm going to ask to help break the ice, I'm sure there's no trick questions in this room. Would you introduce yourself and sort of tell the people why you came to the Resilient Rural ARSA Conference?
Sure thing. So my name is Georgia da Silva with McKinstry, and this is my, I think, third or fourth time attending this conference, and it's changed over the years. But we're here. I'm here with a couple colleagues because we support rural schools in the Arizona area, and we want to understand what their issues are currently, what conversations are happening, what they're learning, and how we could be of help.
We're kind of approaching the end of the day today. I'm curious what has stood out to you the most. What's been your biggest takeaway from all of this?
I think just talking to different teachers, superintendents, attendees here, and really hearing how just simply going to sessions and being around their peers, getting a chance to talk with vendors as well and see who's out there has really given them a lot of benefit in coming and seeing what resources are there, what ideas that they can implement into their schools, and different contacts that they've made along the way.
Okay. So you're here as a vendor. You said your organization is McKinsey?
McKinstry.
McKinstry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just elaborate for our listeners. What is it that you have to offer our rural schools?
Mm-hmm. I would say we have two main ideas, I'll call them, to offer. One, a lot of school facilities school district people don't know all of the different issues specifically that are going on in their facilities, to the extent that their deferred maintenance is at, how much it would cost to have to improve their facilities. And so we go out and we help them to really get objective data on what they need, why they need it, why their community can help support them, and how it would benefit their students. And then second to that, we help them actually design and install those improvements, whether it be indoor air quality improvements, HVAC, lighting, water conservation, solar, things like that.
Okay. Why don't you tell us about your rural experiences?
Okay, so one experience that I've had the last few years has been with our long-term client Coolidge, who we kind of talked about earlier, that maybe has become a little bit less rural over time as Arizona's grown. But they have really shown us the power of a long-term partnership. And something that I've seen working with them that I think would resonate with a lot of rural schools is it's been a little bit more difficult for them to get good contractors out to their school district. And there's so many different hats that those individuals are wearing. I mean, the business manager, she does probably 2 full-time jobs within her job. The facilities director goes and also helps drive buses when there's not enough people to do that. And so it's been really nice to see how we can step in and kind of be like an addition to their staff and manage projects for them that they could do, but maybe that's not the best use of their time, or getting partners in that can also be long-term for them. We've helped them pass a bond actually back in 2019, which was extremely life-changing for their community. And it's been really cool to see how that's helped them over the years. Recently, we did a football lighting project there. So that's fun to see kind of the visual differences when football players are out on the field. And yeah, it's been a really good opportunity working with them.
Okay. I like how you say life-changing for their community. I really think there's a kernel of truth that our rural schools are one of the backbone features of our communities. What does the expression of rural advantage mean to you?
To me, the rural advantage makes me pause and think. I hear all the time the disadvantages that people talk about in rural schools and how there's so much more access in the valley or in certain areas that are more populated. But the rural advantage makes me stop and think about all of the great things about having a smaller community. Typically, it's people that have been there, born and raised, long-term, and they care so much about giving back to their students, their community, and really come together. Like I said, I've seen here just in this conference the last couple of days, and are willing to information share. They're not trying to withhold information or compete in that sense. They really want to help each other, whether it's, hey, we have this new innovative way to teach in the classroom, or have you heard of this grant? We think it could help your school. That's what I think of the rural advantage, is really that family feel.
I kind of like the way you pose it. A lot of people have told me today about community, that people know each other, their neighbors. I like the idea that you're putting different rural districts together as if they're family, the way we help each other here. I think that's probably the first insightful time I've heard that one.
Interesting.
One of my favorite parts of this conference is that at the awards dinner tonight, ARSA is going to recognize and celebrate 10 outstanding teachers. They're all deserving of this award that's coming. Probably any one of them could have been selected for Teacher of the Year. They do amazing things. And so when I reflect on that, it makes me think about those teachers I had that helped shape me. Do you have anyone you'd like to recognize or shout out?
Yeah, I would have many, but actually I'm going to say my kindergarten teacher, Monica Crowe. Still in touch with her today. And yeah, she was so influential in making me feel comfortable when I had a little bit of social anxiety in the classroom, giving us new ways to learn, not just giving us one option, whether it's visual or hands-on learning, and just really set up my excitement, I think, for school.
That's pretty impressive. And to remember a kindergarten teacher,
Mm-hmm.
That's neat. So you've worked for this company for a while. You've met people across the state. How would you sort of talk to someone? I'm sure you know people that should be here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What would you share about this conference that might help change their mind or convince them to commit their time and resources here?
Mm-hmm. I think I definitely would still stand by what I said earlier of there's so many things I think they can learn just from trial and error of their peers. But on top of that, I think the message of probably why a lot of people aren't here is they're so busy and it's that time of the year, but you can't really afford to not come. It's really hard to make that decision of professional development versus serving your school. But I think we all know when we can kind of fill our own cup, then we can come back and serve our schools better. So that's kind of what I would say in encouragement. I think you could take a couple days off, and there's other like-minded individuals here that are wanting to grow their community engagement. And I think this is a great place to learn from that with the different sessions.
Standing answer. That's it.
Wow, thank you.
That was easy, right?
Yeah, that was really fun.
Thank you so much for listening to The Rural Scoop. Please be sure to rate, review, and subscribe, or even leave us a comment. And be sure to follow on Twitter at Dr. Sadorf. That's Dr_SADORF, so that you never miss a new release. You can also check out previous episodes of The Scoop wherever you get your podcasts. Production support for The Rural Scoop is provided by Chattanooga Podcast Studios. Find out more at ChattanoogaPodcastStudios.com. See you next time for more great discussions about rural education.